an international arbiter and FIDE master, but currently I'm involved in organising a number of online events in the Canberra region in Australia to help players stay connected while social distancing is in effect. One of the events we are organising is a once a week 60-minute plus 30-second tournament. And while it's being hosted on chess.com, unlike fast time control tournaments that chess.com hosts, the pairings and results aren't being handled by the server. They're being handled offline, and this means that some players may find it a little bit difficult or strange in taking part in this tournament. So the purpose of this recording is just to walk through how to take part in events like this, and how you handle things like challenging opponents and checking your draw and reporting your results. Now, while this instructional video is designed for the tournaments that the ACT Chess Association is running, just change the names and change the websites, and you can probably use it for your own events as well. So the event we were running is what we call the ACTCA Online Standard Tournament. It started on the 26th of March, and it has about 25 players playing in it. Its time limit is 60 minutes plus 30 seconds a move, and it's played one round a week. So we play it on Thursday evenings. So the very first thing to do is make sure that your players know about the tournament, which you normally advertise through a chess club or a mailing list and that sort of thing. Secondly, they need to know where they can find the pairings. So the pairings for this event are posted offline, or off the chess server, but online, of course, at, in my case, my website, which is tournaments.streetchess.net, which is linked to other events that I run. And as we can see here, there's a web page. Now, this web page is generated using Vega, and Vega software is what I use to pair these tournaments. It's an excellent piece of software. It's cheap to buy if you're running it under Windows, and it's even cheaper to buy if you're running it under Linux because it's free. So we've had 4 rounds. So we have a screen here, which is the pairing screen, and it shows the pairings after round 4. We could go back and look at round 1 and so on and so forth. So the first thing that you need to do is on your chess.com club page, which is, for, in our case, the ACTCA Chess Club, is post the link for the tournament, and in our case, scrolling down through the notes here, where it says pairings for round 4 are posted at. This is an announcement that normally gets put up there. Go to this website if you're playing in this tournament, and this will take you here. Then you will see who you're playing. And on last Thursday night, we had, for example, Victor Bragan playing Tim Pearce. We had Minchin Yang playing Stephen Mugford, for example, down here. So the next thing is, now that you know who you're playing, the tricky thing is essentially how to make a challenge. So because it's not being run automatically by chess.com, you have to manually challenge players to take part. And that can be the trickiest part. So the best way to do it is, if you're in the club, you click on your members list. Okay, and everyone gets access to that. And you scroll down to find your opponent. So imagine, for example, that I was paired against Jeff Meems in round 5. Across the bottom here, there's a row of icons. The second one is the most important. It says challenge. You click on that, and up comes a little window like this. What you are playing is a custom game. Okay. The first thing you need to do is change the time limit. So 10 minutes is standard, but if you click on that button, it will bring up a list of times. Under live, you click more, and finally, it's a custom time here. So the start time is 60 here, and the increment is 30 seconds here. Leave seconds blank because that's 0, 0. And then before you press OK, well, you can press OK here, and that'll set 60-30 up there, and that'll be the time. The other options that you need to do are, 1, decide whether it's rated or unrated. Now, for the events that we run, they're not being rated offline. They are being rated on the server, if anyone's paying attention to that. You can turn that on and off. I've had a complaint / query from somebody who says that their standard rating isn't being updated on chess.com, in part because I suspect all the games they're playing have been flagged as unrated. So if you turn that on, it will apply to your rating. The next thing you do before you say play is you click on options and I play as, and you'll have a list of random, white or black. If you've checked your pairing, so for example, if I was white against Jeff Meems, I want to click white and black. Occasionally we've had it mixed up. Interestingly enough, younger players generally are more on top of this than older players, and in a lot of instances, the older players just wait for younger players to make the challenge, but that doesn't always work. So once you've clicked white, you click play, and then that challenge will go out to your opponent. And then they will accept the challenge, and away the match goes. Now, as I said, we've been running it for 4 weeks. It's been running quite well. Some other little factors that go with it. If I click on the notes button belonging to the club, as I said, I normally post the pairings just before the tournament starts at 7 o'clock. In our case, I also put up a message saying that if you have the buy, your opponent hasn't responded to your match request, do not log off. I've had a couple of problems with people thinking the best way to solve the problem caused by somebody else is simply to disconnect. Don't do that, please. Myself and other tournament organisers, no doubt, will make the effort to give you a game or fix your problems, but they can't do that if you're not logged on. And I tell the players to start their games. Now, normally I will watch the game, so I can do that clicking through the list and following players. So I normally keep an eye on the games as the arbiter. But at the same time, players normally report their results in the notes section of the club. In this case, Lachlan Ho beat Paul Dunn, 0-1 there, and I'll record those and put them in. A couple of other interesting points to go with it. Probably the biggest challenge is because people's real life names, notice here, for example, I'll pick on Stephen Mugford. His real life name isn't the same as his handle on chess.com, and you can see all the way down here there's a list of some names kind of match players' names, but someone like SlyPig123 doesn't really match anyone's real name. So as an arbiter, you've either got to fill your players in on this one, or hopefully after a couple of rounds the player will work it out. And then once the results have been reported, I normally will put them up on the internet, of course. Cross table by score. Here we go. Here's the cross table by score. After 4 rounds, Matt Radicic is in the lead, closely followed by Victor Bragan. But as I said, normally I don't do the pairings until right before the round for a couple of reasons. One, I want to see who's online and ready to go. 2, people do message me and say, sorry, I can't make it this evening, so I take them out of the draw. And 3, I now have a rule also that if a player doesn't turn up, and that's happened on occasion, and they don't give me an explanation, they're certainly not being paired for the next round unless they email me and tell me that they're coming to play. So hopefully those instructions are pretty clear, and you can walk your way through those to take part in these tournaments. This event's running for a couple more weeks, and then we're going to start a new one and probably open it up to just not players in the ACT, but players all around Australia.